Okay, in this video we will solve this problem right here, and in the description box of this video there are two playlists. One playlist has categorized integral problems and the other playlist has random integral problems. So we're dealing with an absolute value with an integral, and so let's kind of recap. So the absolute value of x, it behaves like a piecewise function, so it behaves differently. So it behaves like x whenever x is greater than or equal to 0, and it behaves like negative x whenever x is less than 0. You can think about it this way. If x is 2, 2 is greater than 0, x is 2. Likewise, if x is less than 0, so let's say negative 2, we know the absolute value of negative 2 is 2. Likewise, negative 2 is also 2. With that in mind, we have to kind of think about this whenever we solve this particular problem. So what I'm going to do first is factor this inside piece. So I have the definite integral 0, 3, and let's factor this. So we're going to get x parentheses, close the absolute value. And I'm just thinking about how can I satisfy this. That's going to be negative 3 plus 1. Why does that work? X times x is x squared. X times negative 3 is negative 3x. 1 times x is 1x. Negative 3x plus 1x is negative 2x. And lastly, 1 times negative 1 is negative 3. Next, I'm going to draw a quick little number line thing. So right away, I know 0 times any number is 0. So if x is negative 1, likewise, if x is 3, I get 3 minus 3 is 0, and if this is any number, so 0 times any number is still 0. So I guess you can call these like a critical point. So I'm going to label it here, negative 1 and 3. Now I need to know how will this behave if x is, say, less than negative 1, let's say negative 2. Negative 2 plus 1 is a negative 1. Negative 2 minus 3 is a negative 5, so negative 5. A negative 1 times a negative 5 is a positive number. So we'll put a plus sign right here. Let's do the same thing for this piece. So let's say x is, 0. 0 plus 1 is a plus number, a positive number. 0 minus 3 is a negative number, so a positive times a negative is a negative number. And lastly, let's try 4. 4 plus 1 is 5, so positive number. And 4 minus 3 is a positive number. And a positive times a positive is a positive number, so plus. Now, this particular problem is a definite integral from 0 to 3. So 0 is right here, 3 is right here, so there's a negative right here. The way we can say this problem, remember, earlier we were saying that the absolute value of x, it behaves differently. We have x whenever x is greater than or equal to 0, and negative x whenever x is less than 0. So for us, we're going to actually only have our stuff right here at a negative. So with that, we can rewrite this particular problem. Instead of having the absolute value, we can actually remove that because we know how it behaves. So we have 0, 3, and I'm going to put a negative right here, parentheses. I have x squared minus 2x minus 3. So I'm going to put x squared minus 2x minus 3, close parentheses, dx. Now, like I said, this particular problem isn't that bad because 0 to 3, it's all right here. There could be a problem where we need to split up this integral. Let's say it was, say, negative 2 to 3. Then you're going to have to split up into two different integrals. But in our case, 0 to 3 is all right here. So let's distribute the negative. So we get the definite integral of 0 to 3. A negative and a positive gives you a negative. So you have negative x squared. A negative and a negative gives you a positive 2x. And a negative is a positive. So plus 3. Close parentheses, dx. Okay, so let's do our integral. So negative x squared, you'll get negative x raised to 3 divided by 3. 2x will become plus 2x squared divided by 2 plus 3x. And we have from 0 to 3. 0 to 3. To make our lives easier, we know 2 divided by 2 is 1, so let's cut that out. And now all we have to do is swap. We swap x with 3. So we'll have negative 3 raised to 3 divided by 3 plus 3 squared plus 3 times 3, close parentheses, minus sign, parentheses. I put a 0 here, I put a 0 here, I put a 0 here. 0 times any number is still 0, so let's just put a 0. Okay, negative 3 squared. So 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. We have a negative, so negative 27 divided by 3 would give us a negative 9. 3 squared. 3 times 3 is 9, so plus 9. 3 times 3 is also 9, so plus 9. And 0 is 0. So finally, negative 9 plus 9 is 0. 0 plus 9 is 9. And this right here is our final answer. And that's all we need to do for this problem.